Welcome to Newsmakers. I'm Andrew Donovan. The end of the year brings the end of a career for a longtime public servant of Central New York. Michael Lefancheck retires after 38 years at the Baldwinsville Police Department. The now retired chief is this week's guest on Newsmakers. Chief, I'll still call you that, Chief Lefancheck, thank you for being here.
It's great to be here with you.
Really appreciate it. How's retirement felt now going on just over a week?
Feels pretty good so far.
Yeah, you look good.
I'm hanging in there and back working in the transition process with the new chief just to ensure that he's as successful as he possibly can be.
Okay, but that's a civilian role.
It is. I'll be there for just a few weeks and then I'll be out of his hair, so to speak.
Your chief's uniform is off?
It is. Wore that for the last time last Thursday and now I'll be dressed like you.
Oh, that's too bad. I hope you dress better than that. No, I'm just kidding. How did you determine this was the right time to retire after all these years?
I spoke with my family, sat down with them and had a conversation and told them I was contemplating stepping down from the role. I turned 60 back in July and as you mentioned, hit 38 years and gave it a great deal of thought and just felt like this was the right time to move on. Mike Lockwood, who's our new chief, has been with me and is second in command for the last 11 years, more than capable of taking over. And I just felt that this was my time to move on to other endeavors and try new things.
Did you ever think you'd be in Baldwinsville and at that police department this long? No.
When I started is my career there back in September of '87, I thought I would spend 20 years there and retire out and then go do something else. I was hired at 22 and just felt I would be able to take advantage of the 20-year retirement and leave, but you know, life happens and it didn't work out that way, and so very blessed that it didn't.
But you've known you wanted to do this line of work for a very long time.
Oh yeah, when I was 4 years old, I told my mom and dad I was going to be a police officer. Don't know really where that came from. You know, my dad was an electrician, my mom was a medical secretary, so we didn't have anyone in the family that was in that line of work. It was just something that always resonated with me from an incredibly young age.
You mentioned September of 1987. Specifically, it was September 14th when you started, and I think we have a photo of a very young Mike Lefancheck. There it is. Look at that.
Yep.
Do you remember that day, that photo, that moment?
I do. That was the very first day of the police academy, and the instructors had us all hold our name tags so that they would know who we were and could easily identify us. And a few years ago, one of the academy instructors was going through some old photographs and found that and brought it to me, and I've held on to that.
Wow, that's amazing. And then photos that you took on the occasion of your retirement, what's it like to look and compare the photos?
There's a lot more salt in my hair than pepper these days.
You've also, along the way, held every single rank available to a police officer in your department.
Yes.
Officer, sergeant, lieutenant, and chief. Chief since 2008. Is it rare to have kind of that distinguishing characteristic that you've held those ranks?
I was the second person in the history of the organization to do that. Our new chief, Mike Lockwood, is the third. So yes, it's not really been the case in years past.
Early in your career, you were a DARE officer.
I was.
I remember as a former high schooler going through, whether it's young, elementary, middle, I remember those programs in this part of the state. What was that like to be a DARE officer?
For me, it was incredibly rewarding. And even today, I've had fellow DARE officers as well as DARE students that I've had when they were young reach out to me and congratulate me. I'm friends with some of them on social media, and they reached out to say that they were my DARE student and just wanted to congratulate me on the occasion of my retirement.
And then towards the latter half of your career, you were, as chief, able to expand the school resource officer at the Baldwinsville School District. So at the beginning, at the end, you had this very strong partnership with students and schools.
The partnership with the school district is the most important one we have at the police department. It's right at the center of our village, both literally and figuratively, as far as where it's located, as well as the importance to the community. So our partnership with the school district and making sure that the student, staff, and visitors to our community and those school buildings are as safe as they possibly can be is and was utmost on my priority list.
Yeah, and I mean the village of Baldwinsville. There's such a partnership. The village, the schools, the way they interact. There's nothing like a fall Friday in the village of Baldwinsville, right, with the football game going on, and you just feel that energy because it's a village that's centrally located to the school and to the downtown, so to speak.
Absolutely, and it's so critical that we maintain that relationship.
We've been digging through the archives a little bit, so I found some interviews that you did with Jeff Kulikowski back in 2011, I think, and I'm just going to show that's you, the chief. What do you make of that you were early chief then?
I look a lot younger there, you know, everything changes. I'm not wearing those glasses anymore, but I had an opportunity to say hello to Jeff on the way in here, and it's kind of funny to see that, to tell you the truth. I haven't seen pictures of myself from then in a little bit.
Yeah. Well, TV stations have archives, so we're happy to look for that.
Yes.
Any somberness at this decision to retire? You seem pretty comfortable with it. And I just wonder if through the process you've been sad.
People have said, "Oh, is it bittersweet?" And actually, for me, it's just sweet. You know, I had a friend of mine who pointed out a number of years ago, you've lived your childhood dream every day, and that's really been true. Every day I've come to work and lived my childhood dream. There's days that you'll never forget, some days that you want to forget but never will. But for me, just the most incredibly rewarding career. I couldn't have imagined doing anything else for my adult life during that time period. And I started out as a 22-year-old kid, really, and leave as a 60-year-old that's, you know, had a life full of experience and just feel so rewarded that it was in Baldwinsville.
It sounds like that's what you'd hope everyone would say on the occasion of their retirement, that they got to live out their childhood dream.
I would wish that for anyone.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a break. More with the outgoing, now retired police chief of the Baldwinsville Police Department. Newsmakers is back. Our guest this weekend is Michael Lefancheck, the now retired chief of the Village of Baldwinsville Police Department. 38 years with the department. He is deciding to move on to the next era of his life, staying somewhat in the work, though, in a consulting capacity now. And I know you'll stay affiliated with a lot of groups that you've been a part of. And you're actually able to announce now what some of your plans are for the future.
Yes. I'm very happy that I'll be serving as the Deputy Executive Director for the New York State Association Chiefs of Police. I've served on their board for over a decade, was a past president of that association from 2017 to 2018, and very much looking forward to continuing my involvement with the policing profession.
And what kind of work does that come with? Congratulations on that. It's nice that the state will now get to benefit from your experience. The state full of police officers and police departments that this association brings together. What's on your to-do list for that?
Well, the key component for that association is training and helping to ensure that our members, police chiefs and executive officers from around the state receive the most pertinent and on-topical training that they possibly can. The executive director has asked me to keep tabs on new legislative initiatives that the state might be pushing to ensure that if they're going to have an impact on the policing profession, how that might be, and ensure that we're able to be aware of them and to implement them as rapidly as we can for our members across the state, to keep them as informed as possible on issues that might be happening anywhere from Nassau or Suffolk County to Erie County to St. Lawrence County to Chautauqua County.
And like you said, you've been part of that group a long time. You've been part of a lot of organizations. They're all mouthfuls, but the New York State Association of Chiefs of Police, the Board of Directors of the International Association of Chiefs of Police, you've been the chair of the Onondaga County chapter of Chiefs of Police, a member of the Board of Directors of the Central New York Association of Chiefs of Police, a member of the Onondaga County Criminal Justice Advisory Board. You were also part of the Onondaga County Traffic Safety Advisory Board. You've clearly expanded your career far beyond the village of Baldwinsville into a leadership role in Onondaga County, into a leadership role in New York State. That leadership role continues. What's it been like to kind of balance being the chief in Baldwinsville, but also watching what happens at the county level and at the state level?
It's a unique situation where I've had those opportunities, and I think it's all stemmed from the relationships I built over the course of my career. I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of wonderful people, a lot of guidance that's been provided to me and mentorship from others that came before me in the policing profession, not just in Onondaga County, but throughout New York State and nationally as well, as you've mentioned. And so learning from them, learning how I can apply some of the things I pick up from colleagues around the country in New York State and implement those in Baldwinsville to ensure that we're doing everything we can to provide first-rate policing to our residents that they deserve.
And I feel that you've been able to maintain a pretty safe community, because I think Baldwinsville, I remember I interviewed you once, was on some list of one of the safest places to live in the United States.
We've been very fortunate that it always has been recognized as one of those locales that is a safe place to live. I think that stems from a lot of different things. The police department plays a role in that. Also, the school district does, as well as our residents, and all the community groups are there to ensure that people feel safe and that the police department is there as a service and as a support to the community, and that they're really a part of that fabric.
How has policing evolved in your career?
Technology comes to the forefront right off the bat. When I started, I carried a 6-shot revolver. Obviously now, all the departments are carrying semi-automatic weapons with more rounds just in the handgun than I carried on my entire person when I started. There were no in-car computers, there were no cell phones, there were no digital cameras, all those types of things that our officers today take as routine. Body cameras, you would add to that list. Our officers won't go out today without a body camera, without a computer, without a cell phone. None of those things existed when I began. I think that technology has helped our profession a great deal. It's helped us become much more responsive to the community. It's helped us become much more accountable to the community, and it's helped us get our message out to the community as well.
How about the mindset of an officer? How should an officer today treat their job, approach their job differently, more judiciously than perhaps when you started?
I think today the mindset of someone going into the policing profession is really that of a guardian, that they're there to ensure that they're to protect the vulnerable from harm. That's really the goal of our profession, and I think that's why young people today turn to our profession. Is they just want to ensure that if there's vulnerable people in our community, no matter where they are, that they're protected, and that's their role, is to protect those individuals.
How has the burden, the pressure, the responsibilities of a police officer changed? I asked you a minute ago about the officer approach, but what about society's approach to how we treat police officers?
Well, I think the expectations have been raised, and I think because of body cameras, because of technology, because of things that have happened over the last decade in and around our country, there's greater scrutiny. There's greater expectation for a level of professionalism. There's an expectation for on-point training. And there's a greater expectation that our officers and staff that are out there doing the job every day ensure and uphold those values of protecting and serving.
You're about to take on this job with a state-level association. Do you feel state legislation is evolving to keep up with the demands?
I think, like most things, it's reactionary. I think certain things occur, and then legislatively, there's a response to that. It's difficult to be, in many cases, proactive for legislators, and it's always in a reactive state, usually. So I think that's one of our roles as well, is to try and educate elected officials on the issues that are facing policing professionals today, and ensuring that if any legislation may need to be evolving, that we can help guide that and provide a perspective that they might not be aware of.
People simplify the bail reform and the raise the age changes. Does more work have to be done? I know Governor Hochul has said she's made some changes since Governor Cuomo to perhaps correct some of the extremer ways that the legislation went. Do you feel that more has to be done?
I think it's always a constant process of evaluating and determining whether current legislation is meeting the needs of both sides of the criminal justice system, whether that's individuals that have been charged with offenses and individuals on the side where the arrest is occurring and the district attorney that's now in charge of prosecution. So I think that's a constantly evolving process that really every year would be something to be looked at.
All right. We will take another break, more with the retiring police chief when Newsmakers continues. Newsmakers is back. Our guest is Michael Lefancheck, the retiring police chief of the village of Baldwinsville, here talking about his career and his decision to retire and what he's up to next. There's another police chief retiring around now. Joe Cecil of the Syracuse Police Department will work a little bit into the new year, but he plans to retire too. I don't know how well you know Chief Cecil, but I don't know, did you call each other? Did you make this decision together?
We did not make it together. For the last couple of years, I've served as the chairperson for the Onondaga County Chapter of Chiefs of Police, and Chief Cecil has been the vice chair. So I've had the opportunity to work closely with him there. He's been just a tremendous asset to the community for the entirety of his 40-year career, and just feel very fortunate to have had the opportunity to work with him and in partnership with him to improve the policing profession in our county.
I don't know, might you do doubles tennis or something together?
We'll have to see what happens there. I'm hoping to work on my golf game a little bit, but we'll see how that transpires.
Let's talk more about your career in Baldwinsville. How have you seen the village evolve?
The village has grown tremendously and really taken advantage of the river that runs through the village and made that a focus point of activity, from the development of Paper Mill Island and the Southwest Trail, which has brought in tourism to the area, the number of concerts and events that occur out there, July 4th celebrations, those types of things that have happened there to really put Baldwinsville on the map as a destination type locale for individuals outside of the area to come to enjoy themselves. The Parade of Lights event the day after, a couple days after Thanksgiving, our turkey trot on Thanksgiving Day, all those types of things bring people into the village. Obviously that creates issues for the police department because now we have to manage all those folks coming to town to ensure that their safety and the safety of our residents is maintained. But those are all positive things that really benefit our community as a whole.
Do you have a list of worst days and best days on the job?
Oh, sure. Oh, sure.
Give me a couple.
Well, you know, a noteworthy day would have been the day we apprehended Ryan Lawrence, who had taken the life of baby Maddox, his daughter. And he was walking on Downer Street. Myself and Officer Andrew Natoli apprehended him. Ava Wood's death, and her father senselessly taking his own daughter's life, and then doing a press conference a couple hours later after witnessing that homicide scene with current Sheriff Toby Shelley. Those types of days where you look back and you can't imagine someone having done that to their own child. Those days do and probably always will resonate with me tremendously.
Yeah, I won't forget the search for baby Maddox those days, and how what people assumed was somewhat of a city of Syracuse investigation spilled into the village of Baldwinsville, and you, at the chief at the time, were right in on that.
Mm-hmm. And it just, you know, a series of coincidences that put us at that location at that time that you wouldn't normally expect would occur.
I'm sure another tough day for you on the job, a tough season for you on the job, was unrelated to work, but it's when you lost your wife.
Absolutely.
You lost your wife in 2012 to ovarian cancer, making you a single father of 4. How are you remembering your wife as you retire?
You know, that was difficult for me to kind of process through because she was such an important figure in my involvement with the state chiefs associations and wanting me to expand my reach, and felt that I had the capability to do so and not just be the chief in Baldwinsville, but also be involved in these other groups. And, you know, to know that she's up there looking down and that I've done her proud.
Sounds like maybe the inspiration for your next chapter, that she helped with your work outside of Baldwinsville, and here you are about to take a job that's you know, part of a state-level association.
I hadn't thought of that, but I think you're 100% right.
Yeah. All right, we'll take our final break and have a final word with the retiring chief after this. We have a final moment with the retiring police chief. We talked about a couple sad days, but you have a lot to be proud of, a lot of happy days.
Without a doubt.
Take me through, you know, how you're remembering how you're remembering your entire career and the high moments.
I'm remembering being with my field training officers, and on one of my first days, falling down in the mud on a domestic dispute, and him laughing at me. I'm remembering the opportunities where I've been promoted to sergeant, lieutenant, chief. I'm remembering all the days where we've done some tremendous work in solving crimes and helping victims feel some sense of closure. I'm remembering the opportunity to be there for 38 plus years and to serve as the chief for 17 and a half and to be involved on a local, state, and national level. It's just been the most rewarding time period for me that I could have possibly imagined.
Well, we thank you for your service to Central New York and your continued service to police departments across New York State. Thank you so much for being here. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
For everyone on Newsmakers, that does it for us. Have a great weekend.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to stream News Channel 9 for free. Just go to your smart TV, search WSYR Plus in the App Store, and download to start streaming today.